everyone, and welcome to the bumper Melbourne Cup Preview. I'm joined by some of the finest minds Melbourne can muster to dissect the race.
The pickles.
As usual, I'm joined by our one and only Darren Potter. G'day, Potts.
Hey, Juppy, should I welcome our special guest?
You can.
Lee Dalton, welcome aboard, Lee.
Internet sensation Lee Dalton.
Yeah.
And Dan Kelly. I keep going to say Ken, it's Dan Kelly. It's going to be a fiery encounter here. We've got plenty of opinions about this race, and we're all keen to express them. So
absolutely,
let's tear it apart, boys.
And we have got a wealth of experience here today. Like everyone here basically gets an earn out of the industry, so you have teamed up with some of the better minds going around. So first of all, we'll just touch on the track yesterday, boys. Just fence on fire. I've got a theory as to why this happened.
Possibly the darkest day in Victorian racing yesterday.
The Aerovator factor.
Well, there was the Aerovator that they ran up the middle of the track to open it up. Running 40 horses in exhibition gallops on the Tuesday, probably down the outside, didn't help it. And the inside drains quicker than any other part of the track because that's the way it's designed. So that meant that it was drier than any point further out, which meant that everyone was just trying to get to the fence. I think Mick half planned on that because he thought there was a little bit of weather coming. He's now moved the rail out 2 metres. He could have moved it out 3 because he still needs to keep enough room to fit the 24 horses in for the Cup. But he's only moved it out 2. I don't know what you boys think. Is that going to be enough to keep them off the fence, especially in some of these earlier races?
Early, possibly not. I don't think.
But come Cup time, it sort of won't really matter too much by then.
Feel
24.
I've got to tell you, Juppy, I'm getting scared of making any predictions about these tracks at all. I mean, it's just...
Caulfield Guinness Day now, and this. Cox Plate Day, now this.
Absolutely, Dan. So we've had 3 in a month where they've just been unpredictable, and it's because they're quite fragile, and, we've got track managers being placed under enormous pressure to produce tracks in a certain way, and they're trying. I think they're just being a bit too clever for their own good, rather than just letting it
develop.
Letting it be a little bit. It was. I understand all the circumstances, and I think that Jason Kerr and Mick Goody are really good track managers, and I don't want to throw them under the bus, but what happened on yesterday wasn't ideal.
No. The map pots for the Cup. How do you see them settling down once they jump?
Well, I don't think there's not really a natural leader. There's not really, any horse that's just rubber stamped to go to the front, but there's some imported horses drawn out wide. So I think Snow Sky will probably cross all the horses drawn inside him. I haven't brought my part where I've written them all down in order, so where's he's drawn about?
He's drawn 16.
16. So, and I think Bondi Beach will sort of follow him across, and then out a bit wider, Quest for More and Big Orange will be looking for on-pace spots. Gust of Wind's got a light weight, she'll probably try and poke forward there somewhere. And then from the inside draws, Criterion and Prince of Penzance will sort of hold spots at a sort of even tempo, so that means for those imported horses to cross Criterion and Prince of Penzance, Hartnell, the United States, they're probably going to have to go somewhere between 3 and 5 lengths above average down the straight the first time. But I think they'll probably find, if they do that, they'll find their spots, and there's a chance that they could go fairly moderate from that point forward. If those 4 imported horses, if they know what's good for them, that's what they'll try and do, try and recreate the tempo like it was in the year that Green Moon won, or even Fioronte won. They won't want to go anywhere like they did last year.
Set up for the run-ons.
So I think probably 3 lengths above early, fairly even for the rest of it, and I think that'll make it a challenge for the horses in the back third of the map, which is, even though Fame Game and Trip to Paris drew okay, they're probably going to struggle finding spots in the middle third of the field. But anyway, I mean, that's subjective. It's hard to know for sure, but there's a lot of horses drawn inside them that are just going to look for spots midfield, and they're going to be taken. So it's really interesting. There's luck involved with all that, and it just depends. But there is a chance that Fame Game and Trip to Paris could end up, well and truly in the back third.
All right, well, from the top, we've got Snow Sky for Sir Michael Stout and Ryan Moore. It's currently a $41 chance, but you can get as good as $81 in at a couple of places. So big price hits coming through the Caulfield Cup.
Why don't you open up the betting?
Yeah, He's he's got the big weight, and to me he's one paced. He wasn't suited in the Caulfield Cup back on the inside there, or just off the rails on the inside. He had weight there, but I thought he was one paced when he's clear. 58 kilos. Part of winning this race is to get him with the right weight, and that's not the right weight in my opinion. He's going to be 60 or 80 to 1 chance. He's going to be suited because he's going to get some more clear running up on probably a gentle tempo, so he's going to see open spaces. But 2-1 paced for mine with the weight, so I'll put a pen through him.
Luke?
Yeah, much the same as Dan. You can't win these races unless you're an absolute star with 58 kilos. He's drawn out, so he's going to come across and be thereabouts. But I thought he was reasonably plain the other day, and I don't think he has too many tricks up his sleeve. Hundreds is about the right price.
Yeah, look, I think his raw numbers are 3 lengths short of the mark, and the map's going to take another couple of lengths out of him. So I would think he would struggle to finish within 5 lengths of the winner.
Yeah, it's he'd be a rough first 4 hope at best, I would have thought. He's got a lot of ground to make up on some of these. Number 2 is Criterion, and he is a $13 chance coming through the Cox Plate, and he has the Golden Horn form, which didn't quite stack up this morning over there at the Breeders' Cup, but Criterion, boys, he's well and truly found
What were
in
the
the
margins there in the Breeders' Cup, Juppy? How far did he get beat?
I think it was like a length and a half or something.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he didn't get killed, but it was a little bit plain considering he was $1.65 or something. Yeah, he was short in that race, so
He got to be a good chance in this race.
Is he?
Oh, look, fair income bloke. He's come back. He come out of quarantine. He's gone super at Caulfield. He's been poleaxed the other day, and he's run well in a really strong Cox Plate. I'm in the Criterion.
Oh.
Yep, me and David.
How in the hell is he going to run the trip?
We're sweet again, me and David.
Yeah, I can get you close to David.
B. Rawilla, D. Hayes, we're tight as can be.
How's he going to run the trip? Seriously. What any union in its form is going to say it's going to run a strong 3200.
Is it a Derby winner?
Huh?
Is he a Derby winner? Yeah.
Yeah, he won
Is he?
he
What
won the
an
ATC
ATC Derby.
Yeah.
Got Walker, gets a sweet run.
No, when I was a kid, when I started doing Melbourne Cups, my dad and anyone I've spoken to said you start at the things that can run a strong 3200 and work backwards. So in my opinion, it won't be running a strong 3200, even though, I saw his run in the Cox Plate, I thought, I better have another look at this, Great form, fast run Cox Plate. But he gets on the chewy a bit. He's going to get a soft run. He's got 57.5. He's not in my contention. I can't have him. Potts?
I think his last 3 runs in Australia have been 2 dominant 2,000 metre wins and then an exceptionally good run in the Cox Plate. So on raw figures, getting a pretty soft run in behind the speed there, you'd say yes, and then you've got to say, can he run 3,200 metres? And my evaluation of that is no. I just cannot possibly see. When he won the ATC Derby, he really had that race 200 out and then paddled late and nearly got run down by a couple of very slow horses. I'm on raw numbers, I'm sort of saying he's a place chance, but in reality at 3,200 I'm with Dan. I'm saying he's going to struggle to finish within probably 4 lengths of the place getters.
So I can't paddle late.
Well, for me, I just don't think there's enough fat in the price for me to inherit the risk of him being able to run the 2 miles. Like I'd probably need sort of closer to 20 to 1 or something like that for me to find him as value to say, okay, well, there's a little bit of there in that price for me to say I'm prepared to take the chance that he will see out the 2 miles against proven staying horses. Like if this was a 2,400 metre race, it's a completely different kettle.
That's a good point, Juppy. Once upon a time, you could win this race with this type of horse.
Yeah, spot on.
Coming off
not this year.
A weight for age type horse with sort of 2,000 metre form that had a class edge, but it's now populated this field with super strong imported stayers, and the ones that have got any type of question mark over them at the running, because they tend to go along at a tempo, and then they still run the last 600 metres really quite quickly. Which makes you can't bludge and win this race anymore.
Well, speaking of strong staying internationals, number 3's Fame Game. It's 380 at the moment, possibly even shorter in some spots. From talking to a couple of the boys that I've spoken to over the last few days at some of the corporates, they've got this horse for the absolute national death. The only
Which is a good reason to cheer at home.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
Great reason.
they could cop it both ways here because you can guarantee that the once-a-year punters who will be betting on the tote won't be backing foam games. So the best tote and SP product that I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks might be, if you are interested in this horse and you haven't got it at these bigger prices, it might be something to keep in mind because it might kick right out here unless the corporates decide that they're going to try and minimise the risk and dump some back into the totes. But the on-course blokes haven't laid it yet, so that'll help the SP and the top fluck potentially. And the top fluck will be super competitive. Like it'll be 103, 104 once you take in the flux. So he might get out to a backable price.
You get to $5.
What's the
No
what's the
doubt.
track going to do? Wet rain wise.
There's a band of I had a look a little bit.
That's critical to this horse's chances.
I know there's a band of showers that are coming. They were about the South Australian border. It was similar to what happened sort of 36 hours ago from when we're filming this. You might get another 5 to 10 mil, but in saying that,
It can easily go out across that Bellarine Peninsula there.
It was-
and shoot straight across to Mornington, and we don't see it.
but all that it would be doing anyway is probably preventing Mick Goody from putting 5, 6, 8 mils of water on the track anyway. So I don't think it's going to make a huge amount of difference. And as we've seen, like by the end of that card yesterday, once the sun came out and it drained away, like apart from having that dry strip up the inside, the track looked solid. So
Yeah, no, they ran low 1.9s in the last races today, and 33 and a bit for the last 600. So certainly dried out. The track's very firm underneath it. So I don't think there's significant enough rain around to ruin his chances. So these chances are going to have to be ruined another way.
Well, he's obviously a flashing light lead up run. He's short odds. I mean, we're here to find value, and we all agree, I suppose. As a punter is doing the form, there's no value in this horse. There's no way possibly in the world you can mark him anywhere near what price he is.
No, unless you had that liability that the corporates.
Yeah, that's right.
You
It's
just
weight of
cannot-
money
you
forcing it into
cannot
that
find
price.
him.
So
It's that price.
trying to price him is how much you. For me, when I want to off what I've seen in the Coffee Cup is subjective as to how much I improve him off that run, and I can improve him a fair way. I can improve him 5 lengths at least plus, but then with the track condition, price, he's had 5 goes in Group 1s in Japan for only 1 placing, but it's still going to be good enough here probably. But I've got him. I think he's a risk at the price, especially with the way the map's going to pan out, and I've got him sort of about 3rd pick. So. I'll be looking around him for value for the punters' spots.
Yeah, look, even if you improve him 5 lengths from Caulfield, Danny, it only gets him in the finish here, doesn't it?
That's right.
It's not like he was killing them.
No, that's by the price he's got him winning.
yeah,
And it'd be
race,
pretty bold to say that the way he was ridden cost him any more than 5 lengths, I would think. So, like I said, he's going to be a long way from the leaders, and if they go at a moderate tempo, he'll have to have everything go right, sort of circling the field to run them down. So his top pick, no question whatsoever. I've marked him 6 to 1, and I think that's the right price. So it's a bit like Juppy when we did the previous show for the Derby.
Yeah.
At that point, Tarzuno was 240.
Yeah.
And I was happy to let him go around against me. But I said on the show, if he got the $3, I'd probably chop out some mistake, and if he got the $3.50 or beyond, I'd have him go around a small winner. And that's what happened. So,
well, another example of that for me yesterday was Exosphere. Like when we did the preview show, he was $1.40 and I couldn't have a bar of him. And at the death, because the little bookies out there at the picnics were only laying the other stuff in the race, well, they were $1.70 when he was $1.63 to lay on Betfair. And I thought, well, I can't not at that price. And of course, it was the wrong move, but at the price, you've got to do it. I think the key lead-up run for this horse, and this is what, after watching it, it put a little bit more doubt in my mind was when he ran 2nd in the 10-0 show, because it's one of those classic runs that the sort of the casual punter that probably doesn't make a lot of money out of the game would look at and go, here's the flashing light run. He got back, he flew down the outside, whereas Gold Ship, the winner of the race, missed the start hopelessly, weaved its way through on the inside, and it was probably the better run in the race. But the Fame Game was peeled out, had a couple of little checks in the straight, and motored home to run 2nd.
Did the race caller alert that was a big run? Because they are doing that.
And also pointed out that they
62.5 kilos. How can they win?
how can they?
So
that was a grey horse, was it, Gold Ship?
Yeah, Gold Ship was the grey horse. So it was and a massive
Race
Fame Game looked like it was a massive run, but the thing is he could finish up with the same sort of half checkered passage because there's going to be a lot of things in the way in a 24 horse field up the Flemington Straight. So as you boys have said, there's not enough fat in the price for me to back him at this stage, and I doubt it's going to get to a price just because of the inherent liabilities that these blokes have got on it, where it's going to get to a price where I can back him. But you're right, for me, he's probably the top pick, but just he's not a betting proposition.
So a couple of things, Juppy. In that Japanese race, okay, so the figures are always good at that because they run at such strong tempos, right? So I'm not saying it's not a good race. However, that grey horse would have been outside the elastic band that Vince likes to talk about, and for it to get in the finish, it won the race, did it?
Yeah.
For it to get in the finish says that there's a bit of a question mark over that form. So if you're hanging your hat exclusively on that run, I'd say you are in dangerous territory because I would say there would have been a lot of dead wood in that race that probably didn't get the trip.
Got some weight here too, 57.
Yeah.
He's got a good horse's weight.
And that's the other thing with that. He wouldn't want to get stopped at any stage in the straight because you won't be able to pick. You won't be able to pick back up again with 57. You're right. He doesn't need momentum.
Oh, he's going to be weaving by the sound of it too. He's going to be inside.
You're going to have to go through them because the instructions were in the Caulfield Cup. You are not to come around.
He's been told.
And I'm not riding a
change of
helicopter.
tactic, and he should change of tactics.
Yeah.
Like Terry Bailey be out there in the tower, yelling at Zach Payton at the 200. Get back in the inside.
Getting him before the race.
And furthermore to that, if the track's cast on the outside, he's going to be having to go through them like he'll actually have to do what he did in the
So I'm going to say
That's
that.
a final word on him, boss.
Well, at the moment he's going to go around a loser for me. However, I disagree a little bit because I think there's a lot of pros with big doubles and multis going into this horse that'll be looking to hedge, and I think that a lot of other runners will be backed here. At the moment, there's a lot of horses in this race that are significantly over the odds because of this horse, and a lot of the pros will just be out with the mopping up these big overs on some of these other horses, and it'll gradually, along with the tote, it'll gradually force his price out, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him bet $5.50, $6, which I could probably chop out, some or all mistakes.
As a matter of fact, tomorrow, someone might turn the life support back on the call of the card. It might be an event for a change. It's been dead for 20 years, but there's going to be that much value around some of these others.
Interesting to see what they're...
Like the bloke said...
The TAB's there. They're one of the bookies of the call of the card, I think, tomorrow, and they're 9-4. Cranbet and Warren. Woodcock, but don't know if there's
I'd expect to see some...
I think
some fairly big bets asked for on other horses, Dalts.
I think they'll bet. I'm thinking it's been a waste of time for the last 15 years, but I think tomorrow they might get fair income providing the bookmakers want to play the game, which I went to the Golden Slipper call the card in Sydney this year. Blokes up there bet. They're fair income. They bet.
Yeah.
The blokes down here...
not pretend bets.
No lights on, skirt on.
It's a swinging dick competition. That's what they called me out for last year, and I've been every year for the last 10 years. I'm missing it tomorrow, which I'm a bit sad about.
It's going to go around against me, but a good reason to cheer at home is the multis. When we all know, when we worked in the factory, when the fixed odds multis are fat, then futures are even fatter, and then there's the futures multis, which is just running near 30% or so. It's just the biggest fill up for the corporates. So if they get one back, the punters get one back here, good on them.
Well, if you've been watching if you've been watching Sky Channel for the last 3 months, after each feature race, there's a lot of horses that seem to firm in these feature markets, but you never hear about the ones that drift. So there's plenty of fat in them. Number 4, our Ivanhoe, for Lee and Anthony Freeman. He comes through the Caulfield Cup as well. He was beaten 1.8 by Mongolian Khan, and Dan, I know you would have liked it very much if Mongolian Khan hadn't got colic and he'd been here.
Well, this is the right lead-up race for mine, the Caulfield Cup this year. It was on my stuff, it's rated really well. I like the margins. I really liked the first 3 over the line, and then Fame Game was the flashing light. So look, our Ivanhoe, he had a good run. He followed Mongolian Khan. He had a bunny. Mongolian Khan had to pull the trigger at the 550. He was the hunted favourite. I hope he did what he had to do to win the race, and it's a sensational win. I mean, hit the front of virtually the 600, and Ivanhoe chased him to his credit, and then the other they just got away from him a bit. But he held his margin to Gusta Wind, who was 4th, which I liked. The gate 22 is no help to him, but he might roll forward and get in behind the imported speed and get in a good spot. My crew on him might be at the trip.
Yeah, that's a little worry.
I know the other 2 horses, Mongolian Gun and Trip to Paris, weren't stopping in that Caulfield Cup. So I'm not really saying we should have been pulling ground off him late.
No, he wasn't stopping, but he wasn't going anywhere.
Wasn't going anywhere.
Yep, that's the issue.
You know?
There's a couple of little things that I sort of brought out of it. As we've mentioned a couple of times, Spots, he has had those feed issues, and if we do get it, even a small amount of rain over between now and the Cup, that'll help him.
Yeah,
and I think Flemington will be a little bit softer than what Caulfield was on Caulfield Cup Day. He's a 25 to 1 chance, and he's probably priced around about where he should be. I think that sort of reflects his chances.
Especially with the barrier.
Yeah.
I'm saying that the Caulfield Cup runs convinced me that his feet are getting better. He seems quite likely to be in the 3 wide line here, which might be okay. And I've priced him $16, and he'll go around a winner for me.
Yeah,
nice. He's got a genuine chance for mine. Like he's one of the ones that has had that value put into his price by Fame Game, and some of these others being too
He's
short.
on the second tier for me. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, the Caulfield Cup's always a great lead up for this race. He's got the right trainer. He's a good, to me, he's a solid fringe chance. So and 25 to 1 just sounds like too big a price for a horse coming through a Caulfield Cup placing in a good Caulfield Cup.
Dalts?
I'm not as bullish. No, I haven't really.
Yeah.
As I said to Dan, the tread, the fact that he was just sort of one batting there in that Caulfield Cup, he's drawn wide. I know he's got Malum. Malum's a gun, but no, I'm more 40s than 16s to be honest.
Okay. Yep. Now, your man Potts, number 5, Big Orange for Jamie Spencer. He's a $51 chance. You caught up with the connections and had lunch down at the Emerald there just before we did the Derby Day preview, didn't you, Potts? So they were quite bullish about it, weren't
I was
they?
invited to a lunch, which I was the odd man out there. Everyone else was recognisable. So it was a great pleasure to be invited, and I really enjoyed it. And I did sit in between Michael Bell and Ed Dunlop, and I found it interesting that Ed was very respectful of Big Orange as a horse and Michael as a trainer. So
hope he's no relation to Mitchell Bell.
No, he's not.
That's a result. I might take on Charm
Harmony.
He's a natural on-pace runner.
He walked the track with T. Berry on Friday. Fair dinkum.
Back to Goulburn.
That's like Juppy taking me through an arc. Thanks, Tommy. Go and get stuffed.
Tommy, terrific.
I think the wide gate here is actually good for Big Orange because he can take his time. He's just a natural bowler, so he shouldn't be in any rush to get across, and I think he'll eventually get over into a pretty decent spot. And I think he's huge odds. He's lightly raced. He's only a 5-year-old. He's not exposed. I think he's he's got upside on his handicap rating, and I think he can run a competitive race at absolutely massive odds. So I definitely think that the place price is something people should have a look at.
He definitely won't be a loser for me, based on those 2 runs where he's won at Newmarket and won the Goodwood Cup. They're both quirky tracks, like they're not easy tracks to win on. The only thing is he needs a genuine dry track. That's what brought him undone at York. The sting was out of the ground that day. If you forgive that run, then he's not a 50 to 1.
That's the issue for him. He's coming off a poor run. Makes it hard to win the race.
And he's a bit inconsistent. He's hit or miss. He's had 5 wins from 13, but only 1 placing. So he's either there or he's not. He's got to come over here. He's used to small fields. He gets a field of 23, but to his credit, he's going to be able to bowl and have the. I just think he'll be sitting duck late. And I'm against these imports who think they can turn up in 2015 in the Melbourne Cup without a clean-up run here and take on Waller and the horses who've come through the Caulfield Cup. So I'm against these sort of the horses with this form.
I did ask the trainer about that because I would be a lot more interested in him if he had the lead-up run. So I've said what I've said. I've marked him 20 to 1. So, but you're right, Dan. They don't want to look at the record. They haven't got a very good record. Those horses that are turning up here and running in this race fresh off the.
Well, even if it's a Geelong Cup like doing it in America, you need the clean-up run here.
Yeah.
You need it.
I think it's something like 80. There's 1 from 80 odd, and I think the only one was Vintage Crop. I think.
Yeah.
So they're kidding themselves.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So that is it is a drawback. But I think there's still a couple of
We'll be able to get through a few of the others pretty quickly based on that.
Number 6 is Hartnell. He's a 30-1 chance for Godolphin and John O'Shea and J-Mac.
That's Godolphin Blue.
Yep, the blue
Not
team
to
blue.
be confused if you're watching a race.
They're
Godolphin
going good down here, aren't they? Godolphin.
absolutely flying. Yeah,
He comes off
right
a.
off that like I am. Godolphin.
Mate,
Next time I'm going to buy a tie. So what colour? I'll have a blue tie, thanks. What
Godolphin
sort of blue?
blue.
I'll have a Godolphin blue.
Well, you get 2. You can either have Cobalt Blue or Godolphin.
Oh, camel blue.
He got beaten 10 lengths in the Cox Plate.
Through that.
He won't be going around with
What do you
me.
think, Dalts?
He's not one of mine. Like he got to the 3200 in the Sydney Cup there, and he exploded.
Purr.
Yep, just the guts blew
Oh,
out.
the lawnmower effect.
Yeah, lawnmower, massive.
The big rev and then.
I'm gone.
Red figures, Godolphin.
Yeah, how did? Oh, I know there was plenty of top fluck money for him that day, but 1.65 in a Sydney Cup. Jeez, wish I could turn the clock back.
Imagine if that was tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
After X. Anyway.
Yeah.
Your thoughts,
he's
Potts?
Scratched.
To me, it's been a mishandled preparation.
Yeah, totally agree.
He's a horse that would, if everything went right, would have some hope of running a place in this race, but I just can't come into him at all. I think he'd struggle to finish within 5 lengths of the place getters.
A dozen will have to fall over for him to run a place.
Yeah. He's only going fair, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not that
O'Shea stays are going average too.
Not that the Godolphin need it, but I think they'll struggle to make the top 10 for the prize money. Number 7's Hocko Bray for the Rat and Saguna. He's a 30-1 shot. The same price as Hartnell, and I'd much rather be with him at 30-1 than with Hartnell at 30-1.
Well, he's had that run out here, which is what we keep
Yes,
talking about.
yes.
Which is appealing. I know it wasn't anything special,
No.
but these horses can make so much improvement from run 1 to run 2 when they do come out here. Like you have to calculate.
If he was a
somewhere.
5-year-old, maybe. He's 8-year-old.
Yeah.
He's a second stringer.
And he hasn't won for 2
Given they're the
years.
same price, him and Hartnell, I know who I've got.
Yeah.
Ahead of.
Yeah.
Well, if you were
Because you love the Rat, though. You would have bonused it for the Rat.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he might get out and have a drink with him on Tuesday night, man. The Rat.
I think the thing was, though, if you were pricing these in the match bet,
Yeah.
like first home out of the 2, I think Hocko Bray would be dollars.
3's on.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be that sure. I would have said he'd be $1.50 or something, but he
we'll
probably would be.
I'll take 2's on off you for him ahead to get finished.
Well, there you go. There you
Enough
go.
off
That's
these
the only
years.
reason you could be interested in is a
Yeah, to play
match bet
that.
or something.
No
But he's got
interest.
it's got to improve too much off an average Caulfield Cup.
8-year-olds.
8-year-olds,
just, yeah.
terrible, but no hope. Well, not no hope, but he's 40-1. That's his.
What about the SP profile there?
What's the $16 run in the...
Versus $10 fame game.
Yeah, well, it was an unsuitable race for both of them, though, really, wasn't it?
It was.
Well,
One was savaging the line. And
I
one
think
was
Dalts,
just
what
one
that's
bad-
doing is that's putting a rope around Fame Game saying, no, you're not a 5-2 chance, come back
Yeah, that's
here.
more the case for him than
Come
for
back here.
Hucko.
Yeah.
Can you do
It's
SP
saying-
profiles off barrier trolls, though? Because that's what both of these Japanese horses use the Caulfield Cup for.
Well, I think Dalts when we took one of these other races back here, the 2,500 metre race,
Oh,
and
right.
he started favourite. But the point is that for Fame Game to be a genuine 5-2 chance in this race, this horse would have to be a single figure chance, and I don't think there's...
No, so that backs
So-
up the fact of your fame game's got to be a 7-1 chance.
Yeah.
Realistically, that's as sure as you can
No,
find.
next.
Number 8 is Max Dynamite. He's a $14 chance, which seems short enough. I don't doubt Willie Mullins. Then Franco Dettori, Frankie worries me. He did win the Lonsdale Cup last start at York, but before that he ran second in the Galway Hurdle at Galway at the festival. He was a 10-1 shot there, but in saying that though, like the Galway Hurdle would be, apart from the Cheltenham Festival, would probably be the best hurdle in Europe. So they run those at an incredible clip, and you've got to jump. So he's a little bit short at the minute, but like if he gets out to a bigger price on the tote, he's the horse I could definitely entertain.
I've
The
got
only
the
drawback
biggest
is,
push for him. I have Juppy.
Yeah.
Enormous. Like enormous.
like I love Willie Mullins, and
Yeah, well, that's his favour. And what I can gather, Willie Mullins is like a 60-year-old D. Weir, Ma, Smurden sort of.
Yep.
Genius.
So that's the only reason he's in calculations with me, because again he hasn't had the run here. He's going to be buried, I'd say, midfield rail, maybe back on the rail. I had a look at his Northumberland plate second to Quest for More.
Yep.
He got a long way back, got through Quest for More, but was holding him, and then he's got in clear running and just pissed him the other day when Trip for Paris
And
had
the
a bad
Cup was
day,
on
and
the track that day as
Big
well.
Orange had a bad day. So look, I don't know if that win was flattered last start, but I'm again, Willie Mullins I respect very much from what I can gather, but for me, he hasn't had the lead-up run here. He's at a disadvantage against Trip for Paris. Massive disadvantage, in my opinion.
You saying, Dalts, you've had a bit of interest in this horse?
I've got a really
off the
strong
right
push
people?
for this horse, absolutely. Like the right blokes that go down to Werribee and telling me this is the things he's doing down there haven't been done before as such.
The only two things that I sort of...
Fuck, there's one of them every year.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about...
Please.
I'm not ringing that peanut from racing.com to get a report. Like, I'm talking to fair dinkum blokes down
Well,
there.
mate, there's
And
one
blokes that
every
have
year.
been... Well, fair...
No, what? I'll tell you, but
Well, I
every
know.
year there's one.
Yeah,
something
every year.
working the joint down there.
Well, this is fair dinkum legit.
Well, the only two drawbacks that I've got on it is A, the fact that he hasn't had a run here, and B, that Frankie's riding him. I'd have a lot more confidence if there was an Oz jock on him. Because Frankie's been riding at the
Breeders' Cup.
and he's flying over here with Ryan Moore, and he's going to be riding. He's got a shocking record in the Cup. He can get lost in a phone box.
He's a European. They like clear. Like he hit clear running early in that big winnie the other
When he
last
did
start.
extend.
Now he's going to have a heap of traffic around him.
Yeah.
He has got some turn of foot, but he's a jumper.
I watched him in a 20-horse field weave through from last to run second to Quest for More. So I think he looks to me to be a bit of a dangerous runner.
Yeah.
He doesn't really, on his record, have the class to win the race, but he's going to get one of those runs that he could just be in the absolute sweet spot
And just burst.
and he could be dangerous. So like he's a sort of runner that I'm hoping gets out a bit and I can maybe chop out on him because he's hard to get into the price that you read out there, Juppy. But
Yeah.
I've marked him 20-1, and if I could chop out my stake at 20-1, I probably would.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat there. Number 9 is our old favourite Red Cadeau for Ed Dunlop and the Moose. Well, he just keeps turning up every year. He's 10.
Marvel, isn't he? What a marvel
Keeps
he is.
running places, and he's the highest prize money earning English horse in history. And he's only won... Where's his
7
record?
races.
He's won 7 races.
No, marvel.
He's done very little of his racing actually in England. He's done it just about everywhere else.
Everyone knows he's run 3 seconds. But
Yeah.
Look, he's a 9-year-old now. I had him about holding his rating the last 2 years. So he's able to run a close second to Fiorente. And he held the same rating, got beaten 4 lengths last year.
Yeah.
So now he's 9. So he's probably got to come off that. And Mosse, my Hong Kong man, says Salmon Mosse, if Mosse wins a race, he loses on it.
It's
He
a
said.
fluke.
So look, great horse, be wonderful, but not factoring with me.
Be, wonderful for Channel 7 and all the mainstream if he can run a place.
I'm tipping Ed Dunlop, but I'm not tipping him.
Yeah, no.
He can't possibly win the race, but he could win. He could finish within 4 lengths of the winner and certainly pick up prize money, and he might even sneak into the placings again. Like I've marked him 100-1 the last couple of years, and he's all but knocked me off. So he's not an easy horse to assess, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him finish in the first 4.
Yeah, I'm a little bit similar. He's a first 4 chance, but he'd be one that I'd throw in a wide first 4. But I can't see him winning the race. He's just a little like his ratings there or thereabouts, but he's just a little bit of a non-winner for mine. So he'd be going without a win ticket for me. Number 10's Trip to Paris. He's a $9 shot for Tommy Berry and the other of Ed Dunlop's runners. Well, we spoke about Max Dynamite. He beat him at York, but then Trip to Paris came out and had that cracking run in the Caulfield Cup, which we think's one of the better form races. So I think everyone here will be with him.
Yeah, I think you have to be. He's got to be really balls deep in this race, I think. The run there, the little blowout, Tommy's a worry.
Yeah, that's...
Well, is he?
Oh, he is, mate. Yeah.
And look at this. Because, I mean, there was I respect the boys, they're always potting Tom, they're potting Glenn.
Really,
And Glenn's had another Group 1 for Glenn yesterday.
No.
9 rides, 4 winners in a second.
He's travelling better than me, Glenn.
Every time I see Tommy, he's winning on Chautauqua or Vancouver, he goes to Hong Kong and wins on designs on Rome. So I reckon it's a Group 1, it's like,
It might be game on. Like
That's the only negative, Tommy.
Yeah,
for
no,
me.
true.
And the rest of that, it is equal pick in the race.
And it's not a huge negative. It's not like he hasn't had a run or his first... It's just that it's Tommy and it's...
He doesn't have to think too hard on this. It's going to be off midfield. He's got to look for runs,
Pull out
and let it rip.
Yep.
I think the pot on Tommy's about leaders and dropping anchor.
That's true.
I've got no issue with Tommy whatsoever on this horse. None.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And your stamp, what sort of price do you think he should be, Potts? Like, is he factoring into your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to get back.
$9.
He's drawn right outside Phone Game. I think they'll probably race together and make their runs together. thereabouts. He might be able to get in front of Fame Game. All depends how they all sort themselves out early, but he'll go around a small winner for me. I don't think there's massive fat in his price,
No.
but I think there's a little bit there. Like I could certainly mark him $8, no problem at all. So he's definitely a backable price already, and I think they'll probably bet.
Yeah, he'll be supported.
I'm tipping it big.
Yeah,
he has had the beautiful coiled spring Caulfield Cup, where all he did was give him a dig for 300 or 400, savaged the line.
Yeah.
They weren't stopping him in Mongolian Gun. He looked 50 yards after the line when Tommy and Baby Bossum were punching fingers. They were another length and two in front of where I know. Keep strong as so. He's had the spin around here, which is great. He's had the trial. He's avoided a penalty. He's got a proper weight. He virtually may as well have won the Caulfield Cup, but he didn't. He finished alongside the winner and doesn't get the penalty. He's got Tommy. My only query was, do I take something off for Tommy or not? So he's got Ed Dunlop knows how to prepare a horse for a Melbourne Cup. It's just he's going to be midfield of Flemington in a Melbourne Cup, swooping home, acceleration, strong to the line. I'm all over him.
And Ed's finally given one a run here first. Given one a run first. So that's perfect. And the point I want to make, there's a really messy form in this race with those horses back in Europe. Trip to Paris, Max Dynamite, Quest for More, that Big Orange.
What separates him? This Caulfield Cup run is what separates him
that
from
gives
all
him
of
the
them.
edge.
Absolutely. So
it means he's flying here too.
Yeah.
He's got here and he's Quest for More turned in that run at Geelong. Yeah. So he's not going any good.
So I'm saying that if you wanted to find an issue with his horses, he's somehow tied to some of those other horses. However, the fact that he's had the Caulfield Cup run and we've seen him puts all that to the side for this horse.
Yeah.
So I'm agreeing with what Dan's saying. And Vince was adamant prior to the Caulfield Cup that this horse's 3,200 metre form was significantly better.
Yeah.
Like at least 5 lengths, maybe 10 lengths better than his 2,400 metre form. So, obviously he ran a much better race in that Caulfield Cup than Vince's data showed that he would.
Yep.
But I think you can expect him to be at least 2 lengths better than he was there. And he only needs to get an appropriate run and he will be in the finish. So
I think his tote price will hold up too. I think there'll be enough money on some of these other bigger prices where the tote price will hold up better. Because as you say, I think that the better judges will be backing him. And it's
have to argue.
But the tote pools are so big that unless you are the robots, then you really are going to struggle to move much of the price. So
he ticks so many boxes.
Yeah.
For this.
Well, Dan's got him on top. I've got him a clear second pick. You had nearly him on top.
Yeah, I've marked him equal favourite, and I've probably got him in my 3 picks.
Well, there you go. So if
you
you
probably didn't take something off for Tommy, you'd probably have him favourite.
Correct. Yep, I'd have him favourite.
So if you're watching the show, this horse is going to go around a winner for you if you're looking for.
If you're with us and if you want to lay us, then let us know.
And if Tommy runs second and he reaches across and pats the other bloke on the back, I'll be tapping out. I'll be fair. That'll be it. I'll walk out the back of the joint and I'll just be done.
Find a tree.
Yep.
Number 11's Who Shot the Barman for Blake Shin and Chris Waller. He's a 20 to 1 shot. He's come through the Turnbull and the Caulfield Cup as well.
He's had a grouse prep.
Yeah.
He's had the grouse Waller prep.
And
third last year in a strong edition of the race. Back wide and no hope in the Caulfield Cup. Look, he's short to run well. Can he improve on last year's figure, which is what he'd need to do to figure this year? I'm not sure. I'm just sure he'll run well
in this race.
I don't know, but he can't be grubby break, is he?
Oh,
he's
definitely not going as good as what he was 3 months ago. I'm not potting Blake. I just had a feeling someone else rode him last year, and
he's going to get
a great Brown, was it? When he was down in the weights.
I reckon it was Brown. So Brown to Shin plus.
He's on the second tier for me. Second or third. I'm sure he'll run well, and he's got Chris Waller factor, and he's had a great prep.
The right Melbourne.
3,200. He's elite that.
What?
I'd be surprised if he won, but I'd be surprised if he wasn't in the first 5. So I think he'll finish within a couple of lengths of the winner, and probably be in the placings.
Yeah, I think he's got a definite each way hope. I'd think, but yeah, he's a little bit behind the Trip to Paris's and these sort of horses. But
what price is he, Joey? Did you say?
20 to 1.
21.
He's
I've
right price.
marked him 25 to 1, but
Yeah.
if I was putting a place price beside him, I'd have it significantly
Yeah.
shorter
Yeah,
than,
he's,
you know what I mean?
yeah, top 5, top 6 for sure.
Yep.
He's one.
Another one of the internationals is number 12, Sky Hunter, for William Buick and Saeed bin Surur. Wow, there's got to be some queries over. He's a 40 to 1 shot, and for me that looks a little bit of unders because Godolphin don't, especially the Saeed bin Surur ones, don't have a great record in the Cup.
They don't.
William Buick, he could absolutely get handled here. His form's reasonable, but it's a big jump up. Like his last
Big
win was
jump
at Meydan, and it is a big jumping class here.
He's got a good strike rate and everything, lightly raced, but he hasn't had that spin around here. Godolphin, Sarut, he hasn't got a good record in the race, so no, I'll pass over him, thanks.
I'm in Dan's.
Yeah, I it's really easy just to, when I went searching hard this was to try and find something to put some context into him so I could be confident that putting a line through him I wasn't being premature. I wouldn't be surprised to see him outperform his SP, but I can't have him. So
Well, the one that worries me is those few starts back. That was, it was a little while ago now where he got beaten by Mount Athos. And Mount Athos had enough throws at the stumps, but yeah, he's not one that I could entertain. Like it's a bit of a jumping class.
he looks like a 33's chance to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets out the very big odds.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, could 50s, 70s.
yeah.
Number 13 is the offer for Damien Oliver and Gai Waterhouse. Won the Bendigo Cup last start.
That's good form, who'd he beat?
Yeah.
Beat the mighty D-Man, the one-time Cox Plate favourite.
Oh, yeah.
After his maiden win at Sandown. Oh,
Yeah, what a good horse.
second coming. Well,
He's
benchmark 78
What
horse.
price is he?
He's a 50 to 1 chance, and that's probably about his price, I think.
He's got 54, Preferment's got 53 and a half. So
Good luck.
The offer need a lot of rain.
you need a Vanderham like situation. He'd need rain of biblical proportions.
He is a good wet tracker.
And they'll call him off in that case these days, so.
Yeah, so you need just to absolutely team down.
He's 100 to 1 chance, really.
Yeah.
Correct.
Even though he's got Ollie and everything go.
Yeah.
He probably he'll provide some
He'll be liable.
be a label. Yeah.
He'll be liable. It's a nice one for me to have in the race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 14 is Grand Marshal. He's a 40 to 1 shot for Waller and the retiring Jimmy Cassidy.
His profile is similar to the stablemate who shot the Barman, but not in the same sort of rating style.
Yeah.
So
Again, he said that, just looking at all the preps of these Waller horses, all fifth up and just had the beautiful
It's just-
runs,
yeah,
all
it's
the different
heaps of
races.
ticks,
Just
but-
teaks. He's had the nice bowl around in the Caulfield Cup, held up late, savaged the line in the Sydney Cup, 3200. Look, I'm sure he'll run well, but whether he's good enough to win, that's the class of the query. Hope he'd love for the pumper, but he's on the sort of third tier. But sure he'll run well.
He'll get back. He'll be behind the favourites. He'll follow them home. He'll get beaten about 7 lengths. And
Top 10.
Yeah, probably thereabouts, flopping around.
Number 15 is Preferment. He's a $12 chance, and just mentioning the preps of these Waller horses, I can remember a few weeks ago when I went and did the IVR ratings with Vince. He was all over this horse at that stage for the Cup.
Yeah, so am I. I'm all over it.
He's just had a perfect
Yeah,
prep. He's avoided the
I'll take
handicap.
you on here, Dan. I can understand why people are going to like this horse. It's the Waller thing. And he's going to run his absolute best. I just don't think his best is good enough to beat Fame Game and Trip to Paris. And he's going to race in the same part of the field as them. And I think he'll finish a few lengths behind them at best. So I think his best gets him on the fringe of the placings.
Okay. So it'll be a loser in your book then, Pods?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair wins, I'm stripped.
I think he's quite untapped. I don't think we've seen anywhere near the best of this horse yet. Like, I reckon he's so raw, and maybe this year's it's all coming too quickly. Like, he's gone to a Cox Plate, now he's going on to a Melbourne Cup. But, geez, I think there's a hell of a lot of upside there, and he's going to be really in this race.
What price did you mark him, Pods, roughly?
25 to 1.
Okay.
I'll make the case for him.
Yep.
Well, he's beaten the handicapper. That's the first thing you've got to do in this race. He's got 53 and a half, and he's a Turnbull winner.
Yep.
So he's savaged in the Turnbull. He's had the bye in the Cox Plate, which if I was, before my Marguerite days, I would have thought, oh, geez, got beaten 13 in the Cox Plate, fast run Cox Plate, don't want to be on the it's perfect, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't suited anyway. He's coming to black shorts, Flemington,
Yep.
dead set black shorts for him. He's got Huey and Waller. He's going to eat 3,200.
Huey riding
He's drawn
53.5.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
I reckon
top of
he might get going before the other two, and they've got to run him down.
you hard horse to get past.
He
with
got
53.5.
going earlier in that Sydney race, and he got going earlier in the Turnbull. You know, and he had Hartnell and things behind him flashing home, and he's just strong. You know, he's just strong to the line. So look, he's my, you know, he's equal favourite with me, or if I take something off for Tommy on the other horse, but he's, yeah, I've got them. I can't. It's hard to split trip to Paris and Preferment for me.
He's one of the few things that could probably knock if Bowman wins the Melbourne Cup. That'd be one of the few things that could knock the Stockos off the front page of the Dunny Do local paper. I would have thought. So he's going well. Number 16 is Quest for More. He's 100-1 for Damien Lane and Roger Charlton.
Hundreds are silly.
Only if you want to forgive what you
gotta
saw the
forgive
other
one
day.
run. You've got to forgive
Do
one
you?
run.
When you travel across the world and you mightn't have travelled and you mightn't have, you know, might be struggling down there. That's what that
He
tells
could
me.
be struggling, but I'm not going to let him go round at hundreds as a loser, given the price he was the other day and how his form lines up with the other horses which are in the market, like Max Dynamite and Big Orange that we've got the push for.
And
He
Trip to Paris.
is not 100-1 chance.
Well, he gets a tick for having a spin around here, being an import with a spin around. He gets 3 minuses for going like a busted off me, so they go around. And he's got gate 21 too or something, but he'd probably roll forward.
Roll forward regardless.
But,
Yep.
I know he, you know, looking, if you line him up through that UK stuff, yeah, he's the factor. But
He's the best 100-1
I want to see
chance
what
in
they've
the
done
race.
here in the last 3 weeks. Interests me.
Well, I'd rather take 100s him than 30s Hartman.
Correct.
Yeah, I could have a place ticket on a horse like him. I don't think he could win the race, but I'm more interested in the SP from Geelong than the run.
Yep.
I think that tells you where to fit that string of form into this race. You know what I mean? Like the market was telling you there that the form that he was bringing from Europe is stronger than, say, the Metrop form, for instance.
Yeah.
Because he started second favourite there.
Perceived stronger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because as it turns
yeah,
out, the Metrop form has been quite fashionable.
But as you say, going into it, that's
Perception
when,
was. Yep.
So the run was too bad to be a reflection of his actual form. So he obviously needs to bounce back.
Yeah.
Hard horse to
Very
see
hard.
winning the race.
Number 17 is Al Moonquist. He's a $15 shot coming off winning the Geelong Cup.
He's well found at 15-1, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean they love the Geelong Cup, I suppose these days. Those were American and doing it didn't come through it. And
Yeah.
it was quite a, you know, it was a strong
Dominant
win.
win. But
You know, Dan Dino's been flying. You know,
Yeah,
the
but
wear with the shades on.
yeah, which are nearly
You
impossible
know.
to get past.
Is he a non-winner though?
This
Dan
horse.
Dino.
Dan Dino.
Well, his first prep with Darren Weir is a night. I mean, the horse is just airborne. I just clean slate for me with him.
Okay.
You know? So he would have been a top 6 chance for me, Dino,
Okay.
in this race. I had him as my smoky, but he didn't get a run. So this horse has got a figure. But I mean, when I looked at the Geelong Cup, there was him and Dan Dino, and then there was this clump of average beasts from beating 3.9 to 7.9. That was about,
all those horses.
Ethiopia, you know, this and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just,
The
you
real
know, I know they look good to the
battles.
eye and the time was okay, but at the Aussie is, you know, I'm just, he's a top 6 hope if going to get a good run and everything, no weight, but
He's a middle pinner I'm willing to stand for a bad result.
Yeah, Gary a loser for me. I think the time out of the race at Geelong didn't stack up too much better than the trial, the 3-year-olds really, and that didn't help those horses yesterday in the Derby. I think he just got his birthday there at Geelong, and
Give him a gun ride.
he's a middling chance here. He's like a 25-1 chance or something for me.
yeah.
Yeah, he does say Mundas to me. Like he's as you say, if he was 25-1 or 30-1, then yeah, definitely he'd be running around a winner for me. But not at 13-1. He can.
I guess when I'm doing the form for a race like this, Juppy and boys, I try and see who's the benchmark horse, who's the horse that's going to do something, and you have to absolutely beat that horse to be any chance of winning. And I think Al Moonquist best would only get him equal with a horse like Who Shot the Barman.
Yeah, true.
You know, so
he could have done that at Geelong as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 18 is Kingfisher for Aidan O'Brien and Colin O'Donoghue. He's coming off an 8th of 11, beaten 43 lengths in the Irish St Leger.
And got flogged the start before that too, didn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wheels have fallen off completely.
And Ascot Gold Cup winners.
I watched that tape, and he probably should have beaten Triple Paris there.
Should have won.
At 4,000 over there.
Yeah, it's a different ball game, isn't
He's
it?
here for Lloyd, and
Yeah.
no run, no.
Colin O'Donoghue's got to be a dad for me too.
Yeah.
So
That's a big job.
He's just got a few negatives as far as I'm concerned, and he's a $26 chance. And to me, I don't know. That's
No, I couldn't find anything interesting about him at all, and $67 would be the shortest I could mark him.
Yeah, well, and you're getting a third of that price. So no, he's not figuring in anything that I'll be doing. Speaking of things that should be millions, number 19, Prince of Penzance, he's a $61 chance for Weary and Michelle Payne. I did have a brief discussion with Dalts earlier that Stevie Payne was happy to draw barrier 1, and Dalts thought that might be a bit of a negative. I see it as a positive for Michelle because at least she's got the rail to follow to get round.
Just on Prince of Penzance, big shout out to my boy Aaron Macy, the Prince of Double Bay. Birthday today, as
Happy
birthday, Aaron.
25. What a star he is. He's a legend.
Well,
and the genuine prince.
The gut buster into a Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, spell.
So, 150 odds, or it's 150s in its unders.
Yep.
67.
Even with the great man training it, like
yeah. If you're trying to make a case for this horse, it's, I think Gate 1 is a good gate for a horse like this because it can be ridden for luck. Just do its own thing, and it might flop into something. Like if everything went right. I mean, to me, it's a 60. The price that you read out, 66 to 1 thereabouts. That's
Michelle's
about right.
getting a trainer's licence.
dual licence.
Oh, fair income.
Well, I also see you part own it too. Dalton Racing ownership.
An interest on the side.
Oh, there you go.
That's why Michelle's riding it, because I'd put her on.
Well, if that's the case, if it does win, you should be backing over the length of the acceptance speech. Because if you get him up there doing the acceptance speech, we could be here for some time.
You got an issue with me today.
Good, not just today. Number 20 is Bondi Beach for Brett Preble and Aidan O'Brien. He's a 20 to 1 shot.
Well, what's he had 5 starts?
Yeah, he's in his first prep.
Northern Hemisphere 3-year-old 5 starts. Green as grass. Lloyd's got him out here, I suppose, is he for next year or something? I suppose.
You'd have to think it's a project horse.
They do have big raps on this horse, though. Whether it, as you say, whether it's this year, like, let's face it, it's completely foreign to whatever we've been used to growing up. Like, if someone said to you 10 years ago that you'll be bringing a first prep 5 starts in and you'll be coming to a Melbourne Cup, well, Bart Cummings would have just laughed at you. So
he's just going to get lost in 24 runners, this horse. He's lazy, he's green as grass in those little 6-horse fields over there.
Yeah.
So look out.
He's got to turn up here.
Yeah, he's does seem unders to me.
I'd like to see him next year with another prep under his belt.
Yeah, all that's absolutely valid. I just think sometimes you get situations in races where a horse comes into a race and you have absolutely no idea how good it is. You just don't know. And to me, this horse could be everything I've seen of him says to me that this horse has got enormous talent.
Yeah.
And it's coming into a race that's completely unexposed. So it's a very hard race for a horse like this to win. But just being honest with the way I price things, I couldn't possibly price this horse longer than 10 to 1.
Jesus.
And he'll go around a winner for me.
Yeah, I think that's why he is that price in the market, just because he's so untapped.
The X factor.
That you don't know. Preble's probably the right man if you were going to put someone on. So, yeah, I reckon
you've got it way too short, Potts. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's the game of the thing.
Especially, I'm no expert on him internationals, but
neither am I.
I'd take you on more if it was a local horse and I'd seen him. But I'm just what I'd seen over there.
I'm really looking forward to getting
green as grass. This horse,
I'm really looking forward to getting Vince's figures on this horse because it might encourage me to market longer. And to be quite honest, I mean, I go looking for unexposed, inexperienced horses all the time, and this is probably not the right race to be doing that. But it's just that I can't help doing it.
Yeah, so we all love a rapid improver. I mean, isn't it? That's it. That's how we make our money.
Yeah, that's how you get ahead of the game.
Picking the improver.
I watched all of his tapes and the way he jumps out of the gates and just little things he does in races. I thought, wow, this horse has got so much ability I think he's a frightening horse. I mean, this horse, it could be anything. This race could destroy him.
Yeah. It could.
So,
he could either come out. Yeah, you're right. And
I would think they wouldn't put him in here if they really thought that was possible. It just seems. I mean, I'd much rather prefer it if he'd had a run here. There's all sorts of things I would prefer. I'd prefer it if he was a 5-year-old. There's all sorts of things, but I just think this horse has got so much talent.
I'd also wish that he was named something else, because this is the sort of thing that the once-a-year punters will come up and have their couple of dollars on in the tab, Bondi Beach, which...
Especially when everyone associates you to Miss Bondi, right?
Well, this horse reflects the chances of Dalts with Miss Bondi. He's Sartorius. He's a 300 to 1 chance.
Yeah, just keep
That's
going.
unders.
Yeah. He'd need to start now, wouldn't he?
Come for the owners.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's only one owner too, it's a crying shame.
It's got the jock change, but
Yeah, he's...
Pug off.
it pugs off.
Good man.
Well,
mate.
that-
Oh,
yeah,
you
that's-
it on, Christ.
Froggy.
There's not much between...
Informed jock.
There's not much between you
I
and
want
Pug.
more aggressive rides, so...
Well, could Pug make the weight?
Probably not. Probably
Oh,
doesn't
mate,
bother.
Melbourne Cup, I'm tipping how many Melbourne Cup rides are going to be his life. Like, yeah, all due respect to Pug, he's my favourite jockey because he rode the last one right back.
Yeah.
Self-interest, but anyway,
Well, it's the good thing about self-interest is it's always trying.
absolutely.
Number 22 is the United States for the Magic Man and Robert Hickmont even. He comes off winning the Moonee Valley Cup. I know the angry punter up there in Sydney has questioned the tactical ability of the Magic Man when he comes down here, and this is a race where it's not that hard to get handled.
He rode sign-off well last year. Just
Well, he rode Brazen Bow too.
No, I think he's the right jockey for this. He's a good jockey for this horse.
Okay.
And
I want to gap this horse.
So do I.
I
I wanna gap it.
I want to really gap it. It's got none.
I'm with you.
Yep.
I don't really think it can win, but
No.
I wouldn't.
10 days off a gut busting, so
Yeah.
they've
It's,
crawled home.
Yeah, it was
Moonee
terrible.
Valley.
Yeah, it was
You know,
awful.
and there's
He's come- he's
21
come through on the
yeah,
inside the ground
21
screen.
days if you want to factor in anything.
Yeah, no, I'm not
You know?
disagreeing with that.
It's-
There's two places you could mark him. You know, he's probably one of the favourites to run last.
what price is he?
So
$19.
No, 20 to 1. He's 19. 20 to 1.
Oh,
yeah, but I'm saying if
They get
you
priced
were doing a market to run last,
Yeah, he did. He
Oh,
could,
yeah.
he could be favourite to run
He
last.
will
So
have
I'm
it
saying it
more.
wouldn't surprise me to see him just drop out.
yeah.
But he's not. He's
He'll
still
have it
lightly
more if he's
raced.
got none.
Yeah, fair enough. I completely understand where you guys are coming from, and he'll probably go round a loser for me, but he might not.
Number 23 is Excess Knowledge, who is coming off winning. I'm still trying to get my head around that. You brought up a point in the chat room yesterday, Pods, where Damien Lane was able to hit the inside horse 8 times in the straight, and Dwayne Dunn was able to hit the other one about 20. So how there was not enough interference to change the result, I'll never ever know. He's a $26 chance, and I think for me that seems unders, and that seems Waterhouse. And
Barriers crawled his
Yeah.
chances. Whatever chance he had, the barriers got rid of him, hasn't it?
Yep. Unders and a beautiful one day running to be laying at
Yeah.
$26
Yeah.
with the gay
Gay
factor.
factor, yeah.
Yep. They'll all jump on it. It'll be lovely.
Fill your boots there, Dalts.
Yep.
I agree.
Painless.
still wish Santeca would have won Pot.
Oh, so do I. Christ, like, I reckon the poor bloke's rattled after the week he's had and just had a blackout there.
The bottom one, 24, Gust of Wind. She's a 33 to 1 chance. She has had for Sarge, who's a good man, and he's done a couple of the
Is
interviews
he a
up
mate of
there.
ours?
He's a friend of the show, friend of the
I
program.
thought he was, yeah.
This is an old style Melbourne Cup program,
It
like
is.
Oaks
Old
last
school
season.
Kiwi trainer.
Yeah,
It stuck out to me straight away when I first did it. I saw you see the AJC Oaks winner.
Yeah.
Beat Winks.
Yep.
Bowler 2 bowler rounds at Flemington. Strong late, no luck. But I'm just worried about the last bit of the race at Caulfield. It's got me.
It's the same. It was just sort of
I got a query on the trip.
just there. Yeah, it sort of looked that way that last 50 yards there.
Just wish it was pulling ground off our Ivanhoe, you know.
That's what it
Because he was
needed.
why I wasn't going anywhere.
He was holding his ground.
strong.
This thing was just flailing a little bit.
And I know she was more forward, and then she just had to wait when Mongolian Khan and our Ivanhoe got going. But she was clear enough time with no weight to be pulling ground late.
He will
you know.
have to drag way back from this gate too, won't he? they can't try and ride as aggressive as what they did in the Caulfield Cup for mine.
Potstick got to go on 40.
Oh, no, I'm not sure. It's either right forward or right back, so I agree.
If I was giving instructions to the joint, they'd be going back to give it every chance of running the trip and not be quite as aggressive as Caulfield.
Yeah, you've
got to use your weight to some degree.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No,
sort of, to me, if they go right back, they've probably got no hope. If they go right forward, they've probably got a place.
No.
She was a big closer in the Caulfield Cup. I would be far keener here. She's got a great, CV for this race.
Yeah.
But the
last furlong at Caulfield,
and it's going to be a pretty solidly run race, isn't it? There will be tempo there for the big field helps with the tempo and it's just, I know for the European point of view, they will be wanting a genuinely run. There's never too many anchor drops in the Melbourne Cup, is there?
They'll just bowl.
Well, the problem is, Juppy, if they try and do that, there's always horses in the three-wide train that'll go around them. So they've got to go quick enough to
hold them out,
to stop the ones
coming
around. So I think she'll run an honest race. I've marked the 33s. I'd say well done to Johnny Sargent. It's a perfect prep. He's done everything he can to give her best chance, but she's just not quite good enough.
All right, so wrapping up the thoughts, boys. Your top 3 or 4 pots.
I've marked Fame Game on top, but as I said, there's every chance he'll go around a loser for me. So if he gets out to, as I said, beyond 550, I'll probably have him as a chop out in the race. Trip to Paris will go around a winner for me, and I've got him marked a clear second pick. And the ones at big odds that I will be specking are Bondi Beach, Big Orange, and our Ivanhoe.
Dan?
Yeah, I found it hard to split Trip to Paris and Preferment. So I'm all over those two. I think they're good prices because the favourite's so short. Fame Games, I've got him third pick. And Who Shot the Barman and Our Ivanhoe, I thought they'll run really well. But Trip to Paris and Preferment for me.
Dalts?
I'm going to go with Preferment ahead of Max Dynamite, the one I've got the push for. I know that every year we said Dan, but this is a serious horse. Yeah. From Trip to Paris, and then the old boy Criterion, the good horse from my mate David Stable.
And my 4 would be. I'm half doing this on the fly. Max Dynamite, Trip to Paris, and Preferment, and then the other ones. The Bondi Beach is one that I'll be keeping my hoof on, and as well as Big Orange too. I think after the little bit of confidence that I've come through your men, I think he can actually put in a race, but it's going to just be a great race. It's something to look forward to.
It's a shame those other two horses came out.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, they were 2 of the top 5 hopes, and it was going to be a cracking, probably the best ever, and it's come back to it's going to be a good race now.
I reckon if they'd been in there, I reckon the 3 this spring would have just about been the 3 best. Because the Caulfield Cup was probably the best one I can remember. The Cox Plate was just about the best one I can remember. And if those other couple had been in this, then this would have nearly been the best one. Because there's plenty. There's probably only half a dozen that would surprise me here if they won. And there's some others in here where if they won, you go, well, yeah, you could have made a case for them. So
there weren't too many runners that we just brushed over and said, let's just move on to the next runner.
Probably half a dozen.
So guys, thank Dallas there for trying to interrupt Dalts and giving out his tips there.
That was Dallas.
Well done, Dallas. I want everyone to know that when if you're struggling with these imported horses, to me the best way to line them up is to get Vince O'Carty's full comprehensive document they put out for the Melbourne Cup. It's terrific. I'll be getting it, and I will be making adjustments to my market after I get that information from Vince. It's to me, I found it to be the most accurate independent assessment of these imported runners over the last several years.
It's Vince's record and the RSP's record in the Group 1s is phenomenal. They really nail the Group 1s because it's where the times stand up the best because of the quality of the animal. So yeah, you really do need that, and also make sure you jump on and get pots of set and join us in the chat room on Tuesday. Is there a chat room on Tuesday?
Yeah, as far as
I
know.
So.
What you could do,
you
could have Vince in here one day and give him some of the treatment that I used to give the PA in that office. Well, that might be your go.
You've got a night to finish on.
So I assume there will be a chat room, and if that's the case, that's the spot to be. Dalts has been in there; he's been helping us out. We're there. It is a very dynamic tool, as we saw on Saturday, where we added the unit to a clear choice in the last pots.
Yeah, that was handy. That helped.
So it's all there. Grab the products. Warren will be in the mounting yard. So we'll also get the update on coming through from there. It's just going to be a huge day. It's the biggest betting day of the year. So whether you're a big punter, little punter, it doesn't matter. Just hop on and enjoy the day. It's just going to be huge. Dalts, thanks for coming, mate.
Thanks for having me, Juppy.
Dan, thanks.
Thanks, Juppy. We're sweet, mate.
We are sweet. Thanks very much, guys. It's going to be a huge day. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And just one other thing. Oaks Day's on Thursday. Potts and I are going to be just by that stage of the week. Well, I was in a coma on Saturday, so I'm going to be frightened to know when I'm going to be live
Nailed
on
it
Thursday.
last year, Potts. The Oaks nailed it. So
He did nail it. So there'll be sets for Thursday and next Saturday. There just won't be a video preview because we just don't have time, do we, Potts? So we'll be back the week after to do the preview of Betfair,
Sandown
William Hill,
Classic
Ladbroke
Cup
Park, Sandown Cup Day.
vomit.
And then I'm gone after that.
then Dalts is retiring.
Retiring.
So good luck to everyone on Tuesday.
Not tapping out.
All
just
the best,
retiring.
mate.